Welcome. My name is Ishar, and I'll be guiding you through my 3-part meditation technique, which can be used to overcome stress, anxiety, sadness, or any other kind of difficult emotions that you may be experiencing at this time. This technique is perfect to revisit at any time you're experiencing any kind of emotional hardship. In this meditation, I'll be breaking down the technique as far as the 3 parts. I will then be describing why this technique works, and then you'll hear a bell followed by a guided meditation, and then you'll hear a bell at the end, which will signify the end of this practice. So let's go over the technique. The first part of this technique is to mentally note or label any kind of emotions that you're experiencing at this present moment. So for example, if you're feeling anger, you would silently say in your mind, anger, anger, anger. If you're experiencing sadness, you would say to yourself, sadness, sadness, sadness. So that's the first part of mentally noting or labeling any kind of emotions that you're experiencing. The second part of this practice is to feel the sensations itself. So our emotions have a certain particular feeling sense to them, or feeling tone. So for example, when you feel sad, you may experience a sinking feeling in your body, which may feel very heavy, perhaps in your chest or in the stomach area. And sadness feels quite different from anger, which may be experienced as a rising sensation. Anger is a bit more energetic in its quality, so you may feel a buzz or stimulating effect, and most people tend to feel anger in their head area compared to the chest or the stomach. So our emotions, whatever it is, has a certain feeling tone. So the second part of this technique is to completely feel the sensations of that emotion. The third part of this technique is to observe. So in particular, you're going to be observing the space around the sensations. So the location of the sensations. So for example, if you feel anger in your chest or perhaps the head area, where does this particular sensation start and where does it stop? So if you only feel it in your chest, for example, why not in the stomach? How far down your chest does it travel? And specifically in your chest, do you feel it in the left side of your chest or right? So in this way, we start to add some space and define the boundaries over our emotions. Now, why does this technique work? So the first part of this technique is using your thinking mind, so the mental process of noting or labeling your emotions. So instead of fighting your thinking mind and adding on resistance and saying, I wish I don't feel like this or anything like that, you're actually going to be using your thinking mind to your advantage. And when you're deep in an emotion, the first thing you're probably doing is focusing on your mind and your thoughts. So let's start at that focal point. So you're going to be redirecting your focus. So whenever your mind goes on to different tangents and comes up with different stories, which further fuels your emotions, you can redirect your focus by labeling or noting whatever is going on. So in this case, saying to yourself, anger, 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 or sadness, 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 and so on. And then the second reason why this technique works is because you're also a bit removed from your emotions by labeling. So you're not being completely immersed in your experience and going on a tangent, but rather you create that space by simply just labeling things as it is. Now, once you're able to establish this, we move to the second part, which is feeling. Now, when we're able to feel our emotions and the sensations associated with the emotions, we create this space of non-resistance. So we're not fighting our emotions or pushing it away. Rather, we're training ourselves to go into it and completely feel the emotions itself. And you also create more space in addition because you realize that your difficult emotions are just a feeling tone. So it occurs in your body as a sensation, nothing more or nothing less. Now, once we're able to establish a certain base of feeling, then we can then add the next part, which is observing. So once we're able to observe or witness these sensations, we start to create more of a third-party observer perspective. So what this means is that you're adding space by simply observing as a neutral party, similar to as you're watching something on a TV screen. You're just watching it come and go. And there's no identification at this point. Because once you've worked through the layers of mentally noting and feeling the sensations, by the time you start to observe things, you are very detached from the emotions itself, so you don't identify with it. So that's the gist of this technique. And now we'll come into a short guided meditation where we'll go over the meditation itself. So let's find a comfortable seat, and then take a moment and close your eyes, and then start to bring your attention inwards. Begin to bring your inward gaze or focus to your head area. And then start to mentally note or label the difficult emotion that you're experiencing. So if you're feeling anger, simply note or label anger, anger, anger. If it's sadness, simply note sadness, sadness, sadness. Aim to note one note per second. As you continue to note or label your difficult emotion, your mind may wander into different stories or different concepts. If you find that your attention has wandered away from the noting or labeling process, simply just observe that your mind has wandered and redirect your focus back to noting or labeling your emotion. As you continue to note or label your difficult emotion, you may even find that the emotion increases in its intensity. That's completely okay. Simply just observe and continue to note or label. As you continue to note or label, you'll naturally find that your emotion will start to settle down. Now begin to observe where you can feel the sensations of your emotions. So, for example, if you're feeling sad, you may experience this feeling in your chest. Or if you're feeling anger, you may experience it in your head area. Simply just observe where this emotion seems to be coming out of in your body. And then place your inner awareness to that area. Once you've shifted your focus to the specific area in which you feel the sensations, start to go further and observe its unique characteristics. What are the specific feelings that you experience? Does your current difficult emotion feel like a throbbing sensation, or perhaps more of a pinching sensation, or a certain coolness or warmth against your skin? Start to observe these textures. Once you're able to feel these sensations, try to see if you can bring more mindfulness and drop completely into these sensations. Then begin to zoom out and observe the boundaries of this difficult emotion. In particular, observe where the sensation starts and ends in your body. If you feel a particular emotion in the chest, for example, where does it start within your chest and where does it stop? Does it stop by the shoulders? Or perhaps does it stop down by the ribs, or maybe up top by the collarbones. Start to bring some precision in noticing the location of your emotion. Begin to also observe if the sensations of this emotion is stronger on one side of the body compared to the other. And simply just observe with curiosity. Then begin to observe the entire body. And notice that there is a huge feeling of spaciousness in the entire body compared to the concentrated energy that is very small for your difficult emotion. Just simply observe for the next moments that the difficult emotion that you are facing, which once felt very big and overpowering, feels very small compared to the spaciousness that we have all around us. And as we end this practice, simply observe how you feel in this present moment compared to just 20 minutes ago. And begin to thank and honor yourself for taking the time to meditate today. Thank you.